There's nothing on there.
Okay. I'm going to start off by saying it is a very, very sweet beer.
It is technically a fruit beer.
Yeah. I was expecting it, but I was hoping a little more from Brainless on Cherries that we had. But it's still a very tasty beer. It's kind of like a light beer mixed with a peach juice.
It's like drinking alcoholic peach juice.
Yeah. Very low on carbonation. Has a much darker color. I'd say like a dark amber.
Yep. This is what worries me is everyone else's pictures make it a little lighter. So I wonder if we got the old batch.
We got the bottom.
Yep. So, I mean, overall, I think it's tasty. It's easy to drink. It's refreshing. On a hot night, it's a good drink to have. It's very good.
I completely agree with that.
Dessert beer, you want to drink a beer, but you don't feel like really having bitter or having to match it up with like potatoes or some shit. Grab and eat a peach. Go down to Rocky Mountain Brewery, tell Esteban, and pick one up. It's awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like I said, it's very tasty, and as sweet as it is nowhere near as sweet as that disgusting blueberry bulldog flying dog, I think.
When did we have that? Like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I still vote that in like 2 weeks or so, we need to do a season 1 rehash.
Dude, okay, so the Denver Beer Tour, DenverMicrobrewTour.com, check it out. They, when I was talking to that guy after we did the tour, that's what he was totally suggesting. He said, you guys should go through season 1. You should go through any of the beers you guys have ever not liked and redo it now that your tastes have changed.
I'm down for that. I've been talking about that. So next week, to give you guys a little sneak preview.
Did you say stink preview?
Stink preview. Give you guys a little sneak preview. Our brewmaster, who takes care of us sometimes, Mr. Ben Wilder, has taken the notice that we put out, the challenge we put out on the show, and he has actually brewed one of the presidential recipes off the White House's website. So next week we will be having that. But I think in 2 weeks, let's say after Comic-Con, after Comic-Con, we will start the recap of Season 1 Microbrew and Review.
I agree with that. Yeah, because 2 weeks we're going to be doing the presidential, a random, and then we'll be doing the Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, we can do another Brainless on blueberries or whatever.
No, another fruit beer so we can have a good...
Yep. So, but here's my idea, and this is one thing that you have to remember. In Season 1, we did Ghostface Killa.
Yeah.
So we're going to be drinking Ghostface Killa again.
Fuck me.
Just staying out there. Anyway, going back to Eat a Peach... I think it's refreshing, delicious, easy to drink. I'm giving it a 4.
I'm giving it a 3.5. Still a very delicious beer. The only reason I'm at a 3.5...
It's because it doesn't taste like beer.
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't taste like a beer. It kind of reminds me of that really sweet Saison that we had from Moa a while back.
Yep.
That was more like a champagne. This is more like a juice, but still, check it out. It is very, very tasty.
So overall, we're going to round up. We're giving it a 4.
Well, it deserves a 4. Like I said, mine's only lower for that one reason.
So with that, make sure you check out this review and all the other reviews we do on Untappd. That's UNTAPPD.com. It's also an app. Our username on there is So Like You Know. It's an app that lets you check into beers, try out different things, toast people. Kind of like Beer Advocate, but a little easier. It's more like Foursquare for Beer Advocate. Mm-hmm. Overall, I mean, we have tons of beers on there. I think we have over 50 beers on there now. So
yeah, easily. And those are just the ones since we've started using Untappd.
Yeah.
So I'll need to post a picture of the beer.
We have 45.
I'll need to post a picture of the beer rack upstairs so you guys can see that.
Yeah, so 45 different beers. It's not bad.
Yeah. But yeah, so following that, we'd like to follow up with our Into It.
Or not Into It.
Last week, yeah. It's been a while. I remember a long time ago. Oh, wait, that was yesterday? Who does that joke? I don't fucking remember. But last week, we did never-ending reboots. We were curious as to what you guys thought on, redoing these movies that have had the rehash of it so many frickin' times that it's just kind of blown out of proportion.
Spider-Man.
It's kind of ridiculous. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Batman.
Batman went well.
Karate Kid.
Gah. Wild Wild West?
That was more of a reboot of a TV show. Like, I'm kind of picky on those.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a reboot? Sure. But is it really? Not really. Like 21 Jump Street. That was a reboot, kind of. Mm-hmm. I mean, they didn't, start another TV show up. They
No.
took a TV show and made it a movie. I mean, I'm really getting tired of there being no originality.
Yeah.
There has to be an idea that has not been done.
See, and that's kind of one of the things why I like horror a little more, is watching the independent horror that I do, you do see new stuff that you just haven't seen before. Like, I went to see Oculus last month with Karen Gillian.
Okay.
It was a very different horror movie. I mean, it wasn't the normal stuff that you'd expect, and it didn't end the way you thought it would. So go check it out, by the way.
But I mean, let's see. I mean, you can reboot source material and be okay with it. Like, for example, Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a reboot. I mean, there have been cartoons, sure. But this is the first time there has been live-action Marvel's Avengers. Not necessarily an original idea, but it's something that hasn't been done before.
Yep.
Other superheroes, like I said when we were talking about it last time, there's superheroes that have not been on the big screen that you can put up there before you have to do Amazing Spider-Man for the 7th time.
Mm-hmm. I would almost consider Arrow and the Flash reboots. I mean, because they've had shows.
Is actually, Arrow hasn't.
I thought there was a Green Arrow show back in the 70s.
Maybe. I mean, the closest thing that, in my recollection, that Arrow's had is Green Arrow was a character on Smallville.
Yeah.
Now, the Flash had a TV show in 1991.
Mm-hmm. And not Flash. Oh, very different.
There was a Flash Gordon TV show, but that's different.
Yeah.
But no, so The Flash actually had a TV show in 1991, which I thought was good. It was canceled after one season. Also, I was 5. But, I mean, there's so many properties out there that you can make a movie like DC's talking about doing Justice League. Do it!
Yeah.
I mean, granted, yeah, okay, there's been Batman and Superman movies at the wazoo, but this is not just Batman and Superman. This is several superheroes. Let's look at... almost said Kazam. Shazam. Captain Marvel.
We need more Shaquille O'Neal movies.
This guy, I mean, if you want to talk about a superhero movie that's going to appeal to kids and adults, you have a 10-year-old kid, who turns into an adult male superhero.
Yeah. Did he ever have sex?
Probably. I don't know. There is like a Marvel girl, so I'm assuming that he screwed Mrs. Marvel at some point. But anyway, this is a movie that's tied into, mythology and, magic, but it's a superhero who has this. He's almost as strong as Superman, if not stronger sometimes. Mm-hmm. He's just this powerful icon. He's not even been touched.
Yeah.
I mean, we're sitting here rebooting Superman for the 7th time because he's iconic. Shazam, as it stands, could be, the next Superman, but he's never been given his due. He was actually more popular than Superman back in the 40s.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, when Captain Marvel came out, he was
pretty huge.
He was on it. He was the guy.
He was beating up Superman.
Because he was at a different company at that point in time. DC then bought out all his rights and then buried him in the stupid books. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's other things. I mean, let's look at Marvel. What could Marvel do that has not been up on the screen? Got anything? No, because Marvel's put everything on the movie screen trying to make it stick. Nothing. Now, Marvel's got a couple things.
The fails, maybe.
The fails?
The fails.
Oh, let's think. I mean, of their big titles, everything has been on screen.
Because Punisher was Marvel, right?
Punisher's Marvel, Ghost Rider's Marvel.
Yeah.
The only thing that really comes to mind from Marvel that they could do that hasn't been up on the screen yet. Man, I'm having a hard time. Namor, the Submariner. Shit.
I don't know. Because DC has a whole slew of things.
DC's got tons that they haven't put up on the big screen.
I mean, almost everyone from the Justice League is untouched.
Yeah.
So,
because DC just keeps going back to the big 3.
Do you imagine? I can't see a Martian Manhunter movie doing very well though.
No,
like
not
by
really.
itself.
Not really.
It'd be a little weird.
But
I want to see the Superman movie where it turns into a lion. I mean, you never got to see the yellow kryptonite change.
True.
I want to see that one.
But I mean, as far as reboots go, I'm just I'm like going through this list of most popular freaking Marvel characters. It's just all X-Men. Yeah. They rank Beast more popular than Captain America. Are you freaking kidding me? And Spider-Man.
As of most recent.
Okay, there is. That's a movie that no, Beast is not more popular than Captain America or Spider-Man. Never will be. It's Beast.
I don't know. Everyone I know can reference Beast, though.
Everyone I know can reference Spider-Man.
We do hang out with different groups, though.
Spider-Man is the most famous superhero Marvel has.
Yeah.
Period.
I don't know.
Beast never had his own TV show.
That is true. Whereas Captain America has had 2 or 3.
Yeah, Doctor Strange, that's one. I mean, Alpha Flight, that could be a good. Lockheed, really. Kitty Pryde's frickin' dragon is more popular than Nick Fury. Stupid. This list is dumb. I hate this list.
Yeah, actually, I don't like it. Saberclaw.
Sabretooth, yeah. Arcade.
Yeah,
I guess they could do Cable. I mean, from the future, but that's kind of tying into X-Men Days of Future Past. Man.
There really isn't.
They've had everybody from... I'm reading this top 100 list of Marvel characters. 1 through 36 have all been in a movie.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at all these, it's like...
Okay, 37 hasn't.
Amadeus Cho, I have not heard of that.
The Pride. Mockingbird hasn't. Hercules hasn't, for obvious reasons.
Well...
What the hell's Lockjaw?
Okay, Marvel's Hercules hasn't had
Marvel's Hercules is the Greek hero of myth. He is the Greek god.
Yeah.
there's
but it's still like Marvel-supported Hercules.
Right. Crossbones has been in a movie.
Was that Spawn?
It's Crossbones.
Oh, I thought all I saw was
he's in Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay. What was Spawn? Was Spawn Marvel?
Spawn is Image.
Oh, okay. Way
I mean, there's a couple. Captain Britain. I mean, there's not a lot that Marvel hasn't tapped. But let's go back to reboots. It's whether it's taking an old TV show and making it a movie, or taking an old movie and making it a TV show. There's enough novels and comics out there that you can make entertaining things from print that you don't have to redo something several times.
Mm-hmm.
There was how much time was there between Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man? 10 years?
10 years, yeah.
10 years for us to do Spider-Man's origin story again.
They couldn't push it a little further.
Oh yeah, they just said, screw it, let's reboot. That's like freaking. I mean, at least Batman wasn't that bad. But now actually, that's the nice thing is they're not going to reboot Batman. They figure everybody knows Batman's origin story. So in Batman vs Superman,
yep,
he's just going to already be Batman.
Yep.
So,
well, I mean, the next thing I'm going to start doing is changing origins even more. They're just going to start really pushing that one.
Yeah. But
like with a new Spider-Man, adding stuff to the origin story.
True. But you've heard us talk about it enough. Let's hear what you guys had to say about it. And of course, I say that before I had anything pulled up.
We do that every time, I think.
Yep. So
I think we only made it on the Comic-Con show.
So our buddy Ken states, with Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, etc., don't you mean reboot of a reboot of a reboot? But yay! They may get worse or they may get better, but we all love the genre too much to let it die.
Mm-hmm.
True. I will go shell out money for a Spider-Man movie, whether it's the 5th time they've said the origin story or the 20th.
Yeah.
Because I love seeing people's different takes on it, because the origin story is different every time.
It is. So, Spider-Man is the most up-in-the-air origin story of all of them.
Because they've redone it 4 times.
Yeah. Well, in every comic book, too.
Yeah, it's how many different people have killed Uncle Ben, and not the guy on the rice.
Yeah. And how many have Uncle Ben not even died?
Yeah.
And then Aunt hasn't... There's been a few where the aunt died, too.
Yep, true. Well, she died in the comic books before, but they brought her back to life.
Yeah.
So, Veronica, our intern, says, depends on the reboot. I loved the Batman reboot, but usually no.
Yeah.
It's true. Batman reboot, Christopher Nolan series, awesome.
Very good, yeah.
That immediately trumped... Now you gotta remember, I was a child during the Joel Schumacher, Tim Burton movies. So in my eyes, Batman couldn't get any better. But it did.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I hate to say this, I hate saying this, technically, Star Wars Episode 7 is a reboot.
Yes. It is. They're taking it and changing it altogether.
They're taking a story that was technically finished. George Lucas said no more movies. Starting it up again. It's a continuation, but it's a reboot of a series. They're restarting it.
Yep.
It's not. It's not going to be the same old Star Wars again.
It's the most aggressive reboot ever, though, because they're just saying.
Wow, Cat tried to get in the bathtub and failed.
They just basically said screw it to everything else.
Right. Yep.
It's almost like a little kid picking up the Sparks notes for a book report and just getting it wrong.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's our opinion on reboots. You guys had your chance. Some of you sounded off, some of you didn't. But there you go. But this week, your homework is
reality TV shows.
Are you into or not into this shit?
Yeah.